The final of the World Cup is finally upon us after what seems like a fairly long period of time. Australia is playing against England. Australia will go in as hot favourites, and deservedly so. Are England any hope? And don't say because Wayne Bennett coaches them.
I think they are. I know a lot of these blokes. I've been over in the Super League, and these are big men. They're a lot bigger than the Australian team. You know, Walmsley, big body, and I thought he was outstanding against the Tongans. I think he pretty much saved the English forward pack because every time he ran the ball, he had 3 or 4 blokes, Tongans hanging off him. And they're not small boys, but when I say big, they're all tall. They're all big, tall humans.
They're not big like... No?
A lot bigger than you. A lot harder. You've got both the Burgess boys. James Graham's definitely one of the toughest blokes I've ever played alongside. You know, real tough pommy prick. Certainly a lot tougher than you. Hodgson's a huge loss. But then you go through their backline as well. Like, I'm a massive fan of Watkins. I've seen what he's done over in the Super League. His footwork, he's a very classy centre. He'd definitely suit the NRL. McGilvery on the wing, he's almost impossible to tackle when he gets going. So they've got a lot of class. They've got strike. They've got a big set of forwards. And they're not scared of the Aussies one bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And they have improved each game.
Yeah, Widdop's been enormous for him too.
I agree. The change from Widdop to fullback, like he adds that class. He's always around the back. I mean, like, he's like a Michael Morgan. You know, Morgan can play fullback easily because he's got that skill. Because a 5'8" needs a skill as a 1, 1 needs a skill as a 6 as well. And he's got both. I just think the forwards aren't scared, as you said. They've got Sam Burgess leading that way. They've got James Graham. They've got big Walmsley and O'Loughlin, the captain. They've all got these big boys and they can all pass the ball. They've all got the skill. I just worry about the halves. I worry about Gale and I worry about Brown. They were non-existent against Tonga.
They're very classy Super League players.
They are classy Super League players, but when they come up against Australia, they have not played good. And they need to stamp their authority on this World Cup. And if they go to that next level, if Gale goes to that next level, I think England's got a massive chance to win it.
Yeah.
But he has not stepped up in any big games, man. He can play. He can play. No doubt he can play. But I just want him. I want him to take the line on, run the ball a little bit. Like, instead of catch pass. Like, he's a skillful player. He can not only kick, but they're going to be attacking him in
It's a different styles of Super League and NRL. We know how to defend the way they play. Yeah. They love that block. You know, lead runner out the back, lead runner out the back, lead runner out the back. It's so easy to read.
It's predictable.
It's so
the
predictable.
way that England play because they copied. I think England has copied the way we used to play. Where we're back, just say 10 or 15 years ago, the Pommies used to throw the ball out everywhere. They're offloads. They had no structure, but they were it's hard to defend against structure. Now they've gone too much into the structured football, which we created. So we can read their plays
I think
well before.
They're definitely a side that forward pack's big enough to create the offload.
They're not going to be scared of us.
You know, create an offload, create second phase for the English side, and that's where they're going to trouble the Aussies. Yeah,
and I think Sam Burgess needs to be smashing on that left edge. He's got Ryan Hall, don't forget him, he's a world-class winger.
You've got Bateman in the centres. Yeah.
So what do they do? What do they do different from when they played Australia in that first round?
Well, they need to throw the ball. They need to be hitting holes and everything. Like, they need to be doing everything that they haven't been doing. Like Wayne Bennett, the way that Wayne Bennett asks you to play, you can see them blokes all bust in the last 7 to 10 minutes. Because he asks a lot from his players. Like, you got to work so hard, all these little things that people don't really understand or see. They're working for marker, the kick chase, all this kind of stuff. They're getting the big boys down there, and it takes a lot out.
Yeah.
You know, so they have to go. They have to really. Obviously, they're going to empty everything that they've got out there, but they have to compete with Australia. They have to, and when they get their chances in the red zone, they're going to have to just chance their arm, not with stupid offloads or anything like that. But it's going to be up to a Sam Burgess, Elliot Whitehead, a Gale, run the ball every now and again. Brown, run the ball. Widdop's going to come up with some magic stuff. So they're just going to have to play some really good unstructured football sometimes.
Yeah, I think you're right. And 73 minutes of that game, their defensive unit was outstanding. The way they worked for each other, you know, that was typical of a Wayne Bennett side.
Yeah,
I see this game very similar to the grand final in that for England to win, they have to be the best version of themselves for 80 minutes, and Australia have to be poor. Because otherwise, I just can't see England getting on top.
Yeah, I can, because I just don't. Australia's been dominant, but they haven't. I think they might be it might be this game that they just show everyone, you know what? You're nowhere near us. Nowhere near us. We'll put 30 points on you. But I mean, as I said, like, England can match it with anyone, man to man. It's just the Cameron Smith, the Billy Slater, the Cooper Cronk little trio that gets everybody again. You know, they'll catch you slipping. It doesn't matter if it's 60, 70, 79th minute. Or the second minute. You know, they'll get you at one time.
This will be a lot closer than you think.
I don't think it's going to be.
I would not be surprised if England did get the win.
Would it be good for World Rugby?
Be terrible for Australia.
would it be good for World Rugby League?
Well, we haven't really been that dominant in World Cups.
We lost 2008.
Four nations, have we? Like the Kiwis have been
against a very strong Kiwi side.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I just think we missed the magic sort of left edge with the Greg Inglis's, where we always seem to go left with JT, and it was whenever we needed something. Like I played in them sides where JT and GI and Lockie were there. It was just like, okay, we'll go bang, 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 and then go left, and then it's a try. Darius Boyd or someone on that left wing would just be scoring tries every day.
I'm a massive fan of that Australian team. It's outstanding. But you forget, imagine having Jonathan Thurston or Greg Inglis in that.
It's massive. They've been playing for the last 30 tests.
There's no way I'd give England a chance if those two were in the side.
The only reason why I do give them a chance because there is no JT and there is no GI. Because the money ball when everyone's doing their job, England seem to suffer on their right edge, and GI seems to score try after try, or the winger or Billy Slater. It was just too easy for Australia. Now they've lost that threat. Their left centre isn't as good. No disrespect to Chambers, he's a great centre, but he's no GI.
No.
And the right centre with Dugan, we hardly ever go right. So I just think we lose that little bit of magic on that left, but it's hard to replace with it.
It would definitely put a lot more fear into the English boys if them two were playing.
Mate, as soon as GI steps on the field, he's like, if you've got Billy Slater out the back and you've got GI there, man, and you got your back row doing your job, and you got JT. It was just a scary thought.
What about the crowd? I mean, the crowd against Fiji was pretty disappointing. I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was for Queensland, in Brisbane especially. They turn up for the Broncos.
Yeah.
They pack out a Friday night game. It's the best game ever. It's 30,000 plus.
I think
it was a little bit disappointing. No doubt it'll be sold out.
Will it be?
Yeah, I think they'll turn up. I mean, and the Pommies will turn up. There'll be about 20 of them, I reckon.
They're all
20,000. 20,000. I mean, they're here for the Ashes.
They'll all be down in Adelaide.
Well, they could fly up for the one-off, I guess. If you come all the way,
they're very patriotic, mate. I'll come here for the World Cup final. You're here. It's only what? You just threw here for 30 hours in transit. Now you can't travel 3 hours.
I'd be pretty keen to leave Adelaide too.
Yeah, get the hell out of Adelaide. There's nothing there.
See your churches.
I don't know. I reckon. I would like to see it be a full house because it would.
It won't be Origin full house. It'll be 35,000, 40 maybe.
For me, there hasn't been the interest in it that's going to get 52,000 at Suncorp. And I think a lot of people feel the same way I do, that Australia's just going to put points on them. Do you think there's been enough interest in this World Cup? I seriously think
in the last 2 weeks, because of the Tongan team, because of all the stuff with England and Australia, there's going to be 30,000, 40,000 to every final of the World Cup.
The Tongans will all be there with English voodoo dolls and Chechen voodoo dolls
they'll be there with Chechen cats.
Yeah, it should be a sellout. Let's hope it's a sellout.
Yeah. Oh, look, for me, I think Australia win by 15, 20, but field goal.
Field goal? Who's going to pop a field goal?
Someone will.
I'm thinking, I reckon by 4 points.
All right. Ren?
I'll just go against both of you and say there'll be an upset. The Poms will win.
Damn it, I was going to say that.
I think with the injury to Hodgson as well, it probably opens up. I mean, England are without one of their best players, but it also opens up that whole thing. Now, the Raiders, there's talk that they're already over their cap for next year, and now they're losing a player on big money for the next 6 months to 8 months.
I think there needs to be something put in place in an NRL contract or a Super League contract, similar to what they do over in the NFL called IR, injury reserve. So just say if Hodgson's worth $1 million and he gets injured in a World Cup or gets injured in Origin or anything like that, the clubs have to be compensated somehow because it goes against you, it comes and hits you in the cap again. So he's going to go back to, he's going back near now. He's out for the whole year. So they're without a hooker and he's going against the cap as well. So something needs to be put in place. I don't know if they can do it ASAP, which won't happen.
Who pays for it in the NFL? Who pays for that? Is
the club still? I mean,
the club still pay?
Yeah, the insurance. I don't know how it works in the NFL, but I mean, like, obviously you're going to get paid by Canberra, but I just don't think it should be against their cap. Yeah. Especially if you lose a bloke like Cherry Evans or something like that, or a player who's on $1 million plus, that's a lot of your cap space for a year. You know what I mean? So the clubs have to be compensated somehow.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean,
especially in Origin, and I don't want the game to come to, because in the next 10 years, 20 years, you can't say, in the last 20 years, the cap has tripled. Mm-hmm. Since I started playing in 2000, the cap has tripled. It was about 2.33 million, and it's gone to nearly 10 now. So you can't say in 20 years that the game's not going to be worth triple. So then you're going to be looking at players that are on 2 or 3 mil. Is it worth playing Origin? Is it worth playing all these tests? And you don't want to get to that point where it is like in the NBA and the NFL where, you know, they go out there and they pretty much play touch football because they don't want to get injured for their club, because at the end of the day, the club is the one who's paying you.
Yeah.
So I just think they should work something out.
You don't want to see situations either, like with Milford when Bennett basically said he couldn't play for Samoa because, again, you don't want to get your star players injured in those things. So if there's some sort of facility in there, it's probably not a bad idea. I
just think something needs to happen, because it's going to happen all the time, and you just don't want the product like a World Cup or an Origin to be sort of sanitised down because of players that are on $3 or $4 million in the next 10 or 15 years. You know, and you can't say that it's not going to happen.